The process of milking cows is not like it used to be. We're taking a trip to a dairy farm. There is something this tortoise does not do slow, and that is grow. And it's an iconic children's toy, the teddy bear. We get up close to the real thing. I'm just not sure we'll be cuddling with this one. This story and much more is straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. Hello and welcome to Animal Outtakes. I'm Marcia Panucci. There are more than 800 breeds of cattle in the world, many of which are used as dairy cows. And when it comes to milking, it would take about 15 minutes to milk one cow by hand. But at Dakin Dairy Farms in Mayaca City, Florida, they have a process that they can do it in half that time. Jerry, we're here at Dakin Dairy in Mayaca City, which is your dairy and your wife's dairy, and you two watch over it like mom and dad over all these beautiful cows. Tell us what's going on behind us.
Wow, what's going on behind us right now, cows just got let out. They go in the stall, they're in there about 6 to 7 minutes, they're milked, and then another group of cows come in. There's 35 on each side that's milked. So we milk 70 cows at a time, and we're milking about 2,300 cows out here today, and we milk them 3 times a day, and it goes on for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Does not stop for anything. So
what makes a milking cow versus the beef cow?
What makes the milking cows different, the dairy cows, is they're bred to make milk for production, where a beef cow is only got to make enough milk to feed the calf. So with us milking them 3 times, the cow is where she will produce more milk there. Where if she was just put a calf put on her, she would just only make enough milk for that calf.
And that brings up another wonderful point. You are a sustainable farm. And what does that mean in the production of your milk?
For us, sustainable is how we grow our grasses here. We grow about 800 acres of grass here. We cut it every day. It's fed to the cows. And then the effluents, we irrigate with the effluents with all our wastewater. So it's like a full circle here at Dakin Dairy. And it's just, the reason we're so successful and still in it is because we can grow so much of our feed here on the farm. We're doing about 18,000 gallons a day on that 2,300 cows, and that would be about equivalent to 3 semi-loads of milk a day.
That's a lot of milk.
Yes, ma'am.
I have to say this, Jerry, they're all calm. They're very, very calm. We've all heard the statement, contented, yes. A contented cow. We're seeing that right here. How do you get that?
We're around them so much, and it's just like being around people and everything. I mean, you treat them good, and when you treat them good, there's no reason for them to get upset or run or anything there. And that cows are our livelihood, so we do everything to take care of them and make sure they're taken care of. And they're well fed and everything.
Milking a dairy cow was just the first step. Coming up a little later in the show, what comes next? It's a popular pet. When you see them in the pet store, they can fit in the palm of your hand. But they won't stay that small for long. They are one of the largest species of tortoises. Well, Troy, I had a little guy like this when I was a kid.
You did?
I did, and I called him Squirt, and I think I'm going to call this one Squirt.
Okay.
Yes, I did get one. It was a gift, and I promptly put it into the bathtub. These are the little guys that you can find in the pet store. It is legal for us to buy them. But is this really the best animal that we should be buying?
Well, that's a loaded question. This is the African spur thigh, otherwise known as the sulcata tortoise. I think they make amazing pets, but I think you should definitely do your homework on them. They are very hardy little boogers. They have a lot of personality. As you can see, he doesn't care if I'm touching his head or messing with them. There's abundance of them, but when you purchase something you don't do your homework on, you can end up with an issue. These animals, this is like having a hippopotamus in your house when he's an adult. So
yes, true.
if you have the land to do it, a big enough backyard, sure, do all your research on them, learn how to feed them and take good care of them. They make amazing pets.
Does he feel that when I'm tickling him?
Absolutely, he can feel every part of that.
Because he's watching me. He's
Yep.
really watching me. And of course, they're absolutely adorable. And you know, the markings, it's always amazing to me. It's like somebody took a paintbrush and then just did it. But you know, what do we feed these little guys?
There's a company that I use, it's called Missouri, and they do a specialized diet for these tortoises. And I supplement them with little bits of kale and lettuce, not iceberg, but romaine, red lettuce, anything like that, because they like the leafy green. They come right out of the egg. They'll start eating when they're still in the egg. It's the funniest thing. So when they see that green, they go for it. So I supplement it. But all the vitamins in the diet I give them, and you want to keep, even though they're an arid animal, you want to keep just enough humidity there that you don't get the real high pyramiding. And you'll see a lot of tortoises with the big lumps and things like that on their shell because, you know, it's too dry or they're fed a high amount of protein. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my nephew who works with me at the facility bring over an adult. That's going to happen in about 12 years. So this is what you're going to end up with if you don't do your homework.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so let's slide him on up here.
There's no bathtub big enough for this.
As you can see, he would destroy your bathtub. You would have no more porcelain, any type of stuff like that. So you can see how close they are in size. The difference between his head is the size of this one's eyeball. So at the end of the day, you start out with this, and in about 10 to 12 years, you end up with this. And if you're not ready for this, this will push your grill around, tear your house apart, rip your fences down, break all your gates, and break everything you have that's valuable. So you definitely have to have the proper enclosure for them.
Okay, so he's a disaster as he
can
gets
be.
to be
If
bigger.
they're not respected for what they are, can definitely be a disaster, yes.
So if you do your research and you are prepared for this, what do you think? Is this a good pet?
Absolutely. I think they're amazing. Absolutely amazing animals. Amazing. Just do your homework.
The sulcata tortoise can live more than 70 years, so make sure you do your research and have a plan before owning a pet with a long life expectancy. Coming up next, a grizzly bear that loves hunting. It's time for a paw raid. Bring your kids and pups for hours of Easter fun. Saturday, March 24th at the 4 Point Sheraton in Punta Gorda from 1 to 4. There'll be dog shows, costumes optional, and an egg hunt for the kids, plus the grand Easter parade. There's also a chance to win a limited edition Kids Porsche pushcart. Go online now to dantesden.org to register for a chance for you and your pup to lead the parade. Admission fee includes appetizers. All money goes to support the lovable pups at Dante's Den. Many active duty servicemen and women face a dilemma as they prepare for deployment. Who will look after their canine companion until they return? Dante's Den provides temporary boarding for their dogs as they serve. We honor the trust placed in us by members of the armed forces by giving their furry friends loving care, spacious dens, on-site veterinary care, and plenty of room to run and play. For more information, go to dantesden.org or call 844-DANTES-DEN.
People have asked me what it'll cost to restore all the corals back to the way they remember. But I have to ask them, what will it cost if we don't do anything?
Welcome back. They are extremely intelligent and have keen senses. The North American brown bear or grizzly bear is one of the biggest and most powerful animals on Earth. And if you visit Paradise Ranch, you will get to see these remarkable animals up close. This is a grizzly bear.
Yes.
So tell us about Kenine here, because I just can't wait to hug him.
Most people don't know that a grizzly bear is a brown bear. Under that brown bear umbrella, there's different subspecies of brown bears. It just depends on what parts of the world the bears come from. Now, the grizzly bear is actually our North American brown bear. But how did they get the name grizzly? Way back in the 1800s from the pioneers, they noticed when the bears got wet, they had a very grizzled appearance to their fur coats. So they nicknamed this bear the grizzly bear. And that's a true bear fact.
Now, how old is our baby here?
Kenine's 5 years old. He's a young male. Males grow physically till they're 10 years old. They reach adulthood at 7, but they grow physically till they're 10. Male bears are 50 to 60% larger than a female.
Longevity, he's going to have a long life, right?
Yes. Hopefully till he's in his 40s or late 30s.
Now, normally they're walking on all fours, correct?
Yes, but bears are bipedal. That's a natural behavior for them to stand up. In the wild, they do this when they usually want to check something out. We believe that bears don't have really great eyesight at far distance, so when they want to check something out, they stand up like we do on their hind legs, but they rely on their sense of smell and their hearing. They can smell things 10 to 20 miles away if the wind is right, and their sense of smell is 7 times greater than a bloodhound.
Wow.
That's amazing, isn't it?
So
they have
that's
an awesome sense of smell.
very definitely their strongest sense.
Definitely. They rely on it greatly. There's 8 species of bears, and the black bear is their cousin. But to tell the difference between a black bear and a brown bear, most people say, well, color, black, brown. Well, that makes sense, but it doesn't apply because a black bear can be brown. There's different color phases in both categories. But there's a physical characteristic. Notice the hump on the shoulders.
Yes.
All brown bears have that hump.
That
Camels aren't the only animals that have humps, but on a bear, that's muscle.
I was going to say, is that muscle or cartilage?
It's muscle and a little bit of combination of fat.
Okay.
And but that's what gives them all that strength and power through their arms and shoulders. And they're fast runners. They look like they're slow and clumsy for their size. Bears can run 30 to 35 miles an hour. Super quick.
And how much does that little guy weigh?
Well, to tell you the truth, we haven't weighed him yet. We wait till he's 10 years old and we'll put him on a cattle scale. But we can estimate he's around 350 to 400.
Oh, he's a lightweight, yeah.
He could weigh anywhere to 400 to 800 pounds when he's full grown. They're very hardy and healthy animals. And of course, we give them a good diet and veterinary care and vitamins. And
So if they eat well and get their vitamins and supplements,
that's right.
they don't need the vaccinations that we're used to giving our domestic dogs and cats, they're going to lead a healthy life.
Yes. We just like to show that they're a wonderful animal to be respected and loved and, protected. They're just like kids.
Yeah.
Look at them.
So how important, Monica, would you say it is to get people out here to Paradise and to see these marvelous creatures and learn about them? Will somebody pick it up and take it in their heart and maybe do something later on in life?
Well, I've had a lot of people tell me that when they come out and see these animals, they're just blown away by all the knowledge and things that they learn about bears in general. And then it sparks an interest for them to get involved in conservation. When you see an animal like this up close, you're amazed at the beauty and the intelligence and the importance they are to our ecosystem. Bears are umbrella species. That means other animals depend on the bears for their survival. These animals are so gorgeous, and they've lost a lot of their habitat in our world, and it's important for us to preserve what's left for future generations so they can survive.
You notice the bears at Paradise Ranch have a pond and enjoy taking a dip in it. Bears are excellent swimmers, and they are also excellent runners as well. It might be hard to believe an animal that size can actually outrun an Olympic athlete. A grizzly bear can reach speeds in excess of 30 miles per hour. The grizzly takes the gold. Stay with us, we're going back to the dairy farm. It's time for a paw raid. Bring your kids and pups for hours of Easter fun. Saturday, March 24th at the 4 Point Sheraton in Punta Gorda from 1 to 4. There'll be dog shows, costumes optional, and an egg hunt for the kids, plus the Grand Easter Parade. There's also a chance to win a limited edition Kids Porsche pushcart. Go online now to dantesden.org to register for a chance for you and your pup to lead the parade. Admission fee includes appetizers. All money goes to support the lovable pups at Dante's Den. There are only a few dairy farms in Florida, and Dakin Dairy is one of them. Earlier, we saw how the milk is gathered. Now what do they do with it?
This is our aging room that we age cheeses in. This is our Asiago shelf. And then we have Scamosa. And we have wheels of cheddar, and then we have Cajun. And then one of my favorites is the black pepper.
Oh my goodness, Alan, I'm in heaven. All this beautiful cheese here at Dakin. Tell us what we're looking at before I get that knife and start eating.
Well, we're cutting cheese a day. We've cut cheddars. We do 5-pound loaves, sell them in 10-pound cases. It's made out of a Wilson block is how it's aged, the time it's aged. This is aged 8 months, so it's 8 months old.
Okay.
And
so there is truth to the aging process.
yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. No, you know, to get good cheese, to have a nice age, 6 months, 8 months is ideal. Be a nice mild. And if we go a year, year and a half, you get the sharp. 2 years is extra sharp. But most of our cheeses are sold at this age, 6, 8 months.
This is the one that's very palatable to just about everybody. So much to be said about cheese. So what is the progression? We get the milk from the cows. Now what's step 2?
Well, we use pasteurized milk, so we'll come into the plant to be pasteurized. We have a certain temperature that we like as a pasteurized temperature. We found that the techniques that we use to give certain textures and quality. Too hot of pasteurized makes it drier, so we go as low as we can and still be legal on pasteurization temperature. And that helps us for their cheeses to develop, for our cheddars not to be dry, and for our mozzarella to stretch when we're making mozzarella. Then once it's pasteurized, it either goes into a tank waiting for us or directly comes into our vats. So now we have milk come in. It's coming in 30-some degrees. We're going to heat it up to the temperature for whatever we're making. Each cheese has a little different temperature required about it. The process of cutting, we still do all of ours by hand. In order to get this 5-pound block, we're going to cut 3 cuts to get what we need. Now you want a sample.
Absolutely, I've been waiting for this.
Let's do it this way. Now you see the softness and the texture, 8-month-old cheese.
Oh, this is heaven. That was a very small
creamy.
piece.
Well, we have more.
Thank you.
But you start tasting the sharpness now, and you see the body and the cheese, how the curd knits together. But it's all hand done. Not a machine pressing it in, timed, robotic. It's up to me to make the decision. When do we make the next
In the cheddar
step?
family, is this the mild or the sharp?
Mild. And
So our dairy products are in huge demand still.
yes. We have a little issue because we're in Florida. Florida's not known for a cheese-making state. It's a milk fluid state. Most of the time, never able to produce enough to feed the public. It's changing. Cow comfort, farmers doing a better job with the milk, plus the surplus in the United States. It's where Jerry's seeing the cheese making is a benefit for when we have extra, and also to capture, why not here? Why ship it all the way from Wisconsin? So we have to compete with Wisconsin, but in due time, we'll make what we are. You know, our cheese is going to be known for this area, and that's what's neat about it. It's a challenge. Can we make this work? And as we see ourselves growing, we realize, okay, we're starting to get people to realize, hey, we've got a decent product, we're local, we're from cows that are grazed on grass, you know,
Well, I'm
all
going to
year.
tell you, you got a winner here. In the United States, you will find a dairy farm in every state. At Dakin Dairy, they say the secret to their great tasting milk is the fresh cut grass their cows eat every day. It's time for a paw raid. Bring your kids and pups for hours of Easter fun. Saturday, March 24th at the 4 Point Sheraton in Punta Gorda from 1 to 4. There'll be dog shows, costumes optional, and an egg hunt for the kids, plus the grand Easter paw raid. There's also a chance to win a limited edition Kids Porsche pushcart. Go online now to dantesden.org to register for a chance for you and your pup to lead the paw raid. Admission fee includes appetizers. All money goes to support the lovable pups at Dante's Den. Every dog deserves a lifelong loving home. Dante's Den provides a pristine, comfortable haven for dogs that have been abandoned or surrendered by their owners. Every pup in our Joyful Dogs adoption program receives lots of love and attention, is properly immunized, spayed or neutered, and is in good health. Find your new furry best friend at Dante's Den. For more information, go to dantesden.org or call 844-DANTES-DEN. Those of us who are so used to cats, Dr. Glassman, have seen this happen all the time. Scratching, the wood is scratched, it's the furniture is scratched.
Drapes.
Ooh, drapes is a good one. Yes, as they come flying down.
Exactly.
Is this normal behavior for a cat?
Yeah, of course. It's cat scratching is probably mostly territory marking, and maybe leaving a little scents with their glands on their paws, and getting rid of, sharpening their claws and getting rid of the old dead claws, because the claws really grow sort of from the inside out. So if you've ever noticed, sometimes you find what looks like a sheath. It looks like the nail, but it's really the sheath, the cover of the old dead claws, sort of as the new ones growing up inside. So they have to, remove the dead pieces and sharpen their claws. So yeah, multifactorial, but certainly normal cat behavior. But we don't love it because they can destroy lots of things that we like.
Well, with dogs, you've heard, I'm sure, because I as an owner will say, oh, let me dog-proof my house. Can you cat-proof your house?
A little tougher, I think. A little tougher to cat-proof your house because most people's cats are everywhere. I mean, if you can confine them to certain parts of the house, that might help. If you have one room that has really nice stuff, you might just keep them out of that room if possible. But, we live with our cats. They're in the living room, the kitchen, the dining room. So one of the best things to do is to try to give them appropriate things to scratch on, scratching posts. Try to find if your cat has a preference for a certain type of material, like it might like the carpet, certain types of carpet, or it might like the drapes, or the leather, or the wood. So if you can find the preferential material that the cat likes, buy those objects and leave them around the house, and maybe put catnip on it so it attracts them to it. Maybe hang a little toy to play with. So go over and try to encourage them to scratch on that.
So it can be helped.
Oh, it can be helped, but tough problem to deal with sometimes.
We hope you had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. We'll be back here again next week with even more animals and some wild adventures. Until then, thanks for watching. Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to stick here with little...
Oh, you can put that one in your pocket and head on home.
I could. Yes, he could help me drive.
Ride in the car with you.
Yes, he
Put
could.
them right in the GPS and go.
And then about 2 months later, it outgrew the bathtub.
Really?
Yes.
2 months were you feeding it steroids?
Yeah. Visit Paradise Ranch. You will get to see I can't see that. Somehow you moved and I can't see a thing. She needs to be replaced. Get another prompter, girl. Ooh. Like I said. Okay. Just remember, we have more seasons to go. Hope you're with us.